What's up, everybody? Thanks for joining immediately. I see that I'm live. I also see... Okay. Cool.
On my back end, it looks like you're streaming to everywhere.
Sweet. Yeah. I can see a timer going on how long I've been live. I can see a little eyeball with viewers. It is interesting. When I hover over the eye, it just says Facebook, Shashibo, Facebook, Funimotion Toys, Facebook, Twitch. One person on YouTube. What's up, YouTube? We are here live playing with Shashibo, this incredible toy that folds into over 100 different shapes. It's completely exploratory. There is no right or wrong way to play with it. It's all about seeing if you can find all of those possibilities and then unlock the over infinite options when you collect and connect. So when you add more Shashibo into your collection, you can find all sorts of amazing ways of getting them to magnetically and geometrically connect. They're so much fun.
Keep working on stuff in the back, but I'm going to jump off the phone.
Alrighty. Talk to you in a bit.
Text you what I
Yeah.
figure out.
So thanks to our early viewers. Yeah. So just getting started here, playing with some Shashibo. We can do all sorts of cool stuff, show off tutorials of ways to make different shapes and get them combined with other Shashibo, make incredible structures like this one that I have right behind me, or answer all of your shape-shifting questions. So thanks for hanging out, guys, and hope you stick around. This is the Shashibo that I'm talking about, the shape-shifting box in question that folds into over 100 different possibilities. One of my favorite options when you get more than one, though, is putting that cube that it comes packaged in inside the ball right there, which closes all the way around it. And then you can actually grab both of those Shashibo and start folding them together in unison. You know, all sorts of really cool things like this. I am curious to know if anyone in the chat has ever seen a Shashibo before, though. Oh, what's up, King Ravana? It makes sense that you'd be one of our first viewers on our YouTube Live. So, testing out some new ways to live stream here. Let's see. And it says that, yeah, it says that you are commenting from YouTube. Sweet. I've been on Octa heavy. Dude, I've seen it. In the Discord, you guys are going crazy with Octa. Here, I've got my 8 right here. I was building some towers with them earlier. It's pretty fun. I do think we should play a little bit more with Octa, though. I was messing around a little bit with combinations like this, where we get mirrored images going along, and the all kinds of different ways that we can get that connected to some other Shashibo. And what was the one I was playing with? Here it is. Where you get that seed pod shape with Octa. And can actually get that. There it is. Connected right in there. So then I can do 2 of these back to back, right? But yeah. Okay. So JT, you come up as host, which is cool. You got us both today. As we're playing with some Octa there. See, that's a cool one. And then completely flat on this side. Pretty neat. We are rather far away. I might want to change up that angle. We'll see. But yeah, some really cool Octa stuff. Busy Monday morning. I'm selling old Sony Trinitron TVs to collectors. That's crazy. Wow, man. Very cool. Very cool. Yeah, so let's find some cool combinations with some Octa and some Shashibo. I've been wanting to explore with Octa a whole bunch, and no better place to do that than these live streams. And I am gonna connect two of these. We call this shape the puppy. This guy right here looks a little like a puppy. And I can just connect them at their head, right, like so. And not the strongest of magnetic connections, but I bet when we get that fourth one in there, it'll hold pretty solid. And that's the one that we want. That's pretty nice. But what I was really aiming for here is to be able to get the bloom shape attached on the other end of this. Oh my goodness, no! Magnetism is not my friend on that connection. Very interesting. It repels. I did not see that coming, I'm not going to lie. And I don't 100% know why. That's always the interesting thing. What's up, KitSync? Oh, yeah, okay, cool. I recognize you. Good to see you on a different channel here. Everybody's joining us on YouTube so far, so that's interesting. Oh, we got somebody from Facebook, and we got one person on Twitch. Yeah, thanks, guys, for shouting us out. They're trying to fix the yokes and replacing capacitors for perfect retro gaming geometry. That's awesome, dude. That's awesome. Alrighty, well, cool. Glad to have you guys here from different places. We're just playing with some cool Shashibo and Octa combos. Oh, that's Yvonne from the collection. We know Yvonne. How's it going? Good to see you on one of these live streams. Our first, I believe, live stream on YouTube and Facebook so far. Yeah, so playing with some cool Shashibo. Going to be showing off some really cool ways to play with Shashibo. One of the ones that always comes up because it's an oldie but a goodie is combining our UFO with our Hive to make the ultimate spinner. Spins really fast. You can get some really good ones. We did a live stream last summer at IJA. OGs will remember that one, where it actually balanced multiple times in a row on that point on the marble countertop. It was super fun. But yeah, I also wanted to make sure that you guys have seen our new fall series. These two Shashibo right here are really nice designs. This guy has some cool gargoyles, some Day of the Dead style skulls on it. And when we get it inside out, you unlock the jack-o'-lantern, the little ghosty dude, his haunted mansion, and then this guy who just has some really nice colors and designs on it. I mean, look at that. I just love the detail. Plus, when we get it into the ball shape here, we get some really cool geometric art going on, where you can see that there are those patterns repeating 3 times on those different faces right there, there, and there, and then are backlit by different colors. I don't know. I think it's really beautiful. So we're going to make some cool stuff with these Shashibo. I do really like exploring a lot of the ways in which you can make something that looks the same geometrically, but using different shapes to get there. So I just made 4 of this star shape right here to get them connected into something that really is a simple shape, but has that beautiful complex presentation. And then if I grab a couple of my other fall series design, I'm going to make completely different shape from that star, this hive that I'm using spin. And do, you may have an idea of where this is going. But if you take 4 hives and can connect them on this tab shape right here instead of on the inside structure, we're just taking these tabs and getting them connected like that, then I've made something that presents not just similarly, but the same. These are 2 of the same structure basically, but made out of entirely different pieces. I love exploring stuff like that with Shashibo. There's a lot of ways that we could do it. Another really fun one is this chair shape, the chair right there, and making this inside out UFO shape right there. I got a notification with YouTube. TikTok is crazy, and the Twitch. I'll have to find Fun and Motion Toys there too. Yeah, we're everywhere, man. There's music too. Yes, that is something that we do for a while, since we are all lovers of music here. Glad you're enjoying it so far, though. Alrighty. There's 4 seats connected in a really satisfying way, taking that tab and getting it to slot perfectly in place right there with those others. Ends up looking like 4 cubes, and it is 4 cubes, but they're not in the cube shape. And then 4 cubes looking thing here with the UFOs alone. So again, 2 completely different shapes end up making something that looks really similar. I bet there's a couple other ways that we could do this too. Like when I take 4 hives, which we had earlier, but we connected them by the tab like this, and this time what I want to do is connect them by these inside triangles right here. Just like so. And with all 4 of them, I get this shape that looks like 4 of the rhombic dodecahedrons that you can make out of just one Shashibo put together. So let's make a couple of those rhombic dodecahedrons. Glad you're enjoying the music, King Ravana. I appreciate it. So when we make that dodecahedron shape, that inside out piece right there, what we're doing is taking all 3 sections from one side of the star. Could be either one, whether it's this green side or this purple side. I'm going to take all 3 of these purple points, and one at a time I'm going to bring them through the middle. One at a time, make sure that they don't run into each other and we stay nice and loose instead of getting too rigid to let it flow. Because if it doesn't flow, it doesn't go. All right, so we're going to take this nice open ring right here, and I like taking opposite sections. See how I've grabbed this one up here at the top, which means I need to just grab the one on the opposite end at the bottom there. And then I can kind of make this nice hollow ring as I bring those sections, not to connect to each other, but just into the middle until we make this kind of hollow piece that I can basically just let collapse into this shape. But we don't want to push it in, because if we push it together, then it really will collapse internally, and we don't want that. We want to keep that hollow space and just form the ball around it. And now, with 4 of those balls, we can just get them connected one to the other. Now the balls are tricky because it looks like all of those outside faces should work magnetically the same. However, when I take this section right here and squeeze a little bit, you can see that that's one of the openings where we closed up our ball shape. And those 3 tabs are going to have the magnets in them. Those 3 tabs and the 3 tabs on the opposite end here. So we need to make sure that we're taking those tabs to other tabs and connecting them facing in the same direction. So that's how we make sure that we are going to have a magnetic connection the whole way around it. Again, that is 3 balls, which look very different from this shape right here. This shape is actually halfway into the cube. It's closer to the cube than it is to the ball. And yet when we make something that's really far away from it, we have something that looks exactly the same from the outside. And that's not the only way that we could do it. We could change this to be the ice cream cone like this, right here. That's just taking one section of the ball and folding it back like this. So if I squeeze my ball so that it starts to open there, I just isolate one section and flip that one section back. And if I do that all 4 times, then I will have 4 of these ice cream cone shapes. And now this is a little bit of a trickier connection. I need to take these 2 points and I want them facing towards each other. They're pointing in, right? Like just like this. And now I want to keep on putting them in until those 2 points kind of make this X pattern. Just like so. And I find it easiest to just do that twice before taking each of those 2 ice cream cone connected shapes and having them mesh just like this, crisscross. And that is another way of making our shape that looks like 4 hives put together, or 4 balls, whatever you want to call it. They're really cool. And I am doing all of these cool combinations with our 2 newest limited edition ball series Shashibo. These 2, we only have so many of them in stock. You better get a hold of them now while they still are around, because as you can see, we've already sold out from our 2025 series, or our 2024 series. Now is 2025. You can get these until they're gone. Alrighty, now let's level it up a little bit. I was showing off, so I got to go to my neighborhood's block party earlier this week, over the weekend anyway, which was super fun. And I always bring Shashibo with me everywhere I go. So I was showing some kids some Shashibo, and I went down this whole rabbit hole tangent of ways to connect multiple Shashibo and allow them to move still. So the classic one is where we open up one section of the Shashibo into the crown shape, flip it around, grab this section right here in the back and pull that straight down away from that top point right here. And now see how I have 3 sections on one side of my star and 3 sections on the other side of my star? Each of those 3 sections, if I take all 3 of them one at a time and pass them through the middle, just like so, I've got it inside out. And we already learned how to make the ball in one way, which is to bring those 2 sections towards each other but shape it around that hollow space. Another way that I find a little easier is just taking 2 sections from one side, right, like this, and bringing them together. Now you could make the mistake of bringing them together like this and making a point at the top, which we don't want to do this time. We want to bring those together while letting that top point fall down, just like that. See how it creates that kind of scoop, almost, that scoop of a shape? And so what I want to do now is take this section right here that's still open, and I want to bring it up towards those pieces while again protecting that hollow space inside. You never want to push it all closed because then it'll collapse. We just want to bring that one piece up towards the scoop that we already shaped, letting the pieces around it kind of fall down just like so to connect. And now we have made our hollow ball. Now, a slightly easier way to make that ball is to shape it around your cube. That way you don't have to worry about crushing it accidentally. All we need to do is just get it wrapped around the cube, because the cube is the exact negative space in there. Now, here is an interesting thing, is if you see how when I squeeze the Shashibo, you can see 3 sections coming to a point right there? Well, when I squeeze a ball, you get that same thing. See how you can see those 3 sections all coming to a point right there? Well, if I take those sections and line them up with each other while I wrap the ball around it, for me, that's just identifying one of those seams and putting one section of the ring over that seam and then just shaping the ring around the outside of the cube until it's the ball. Then we have unlocked this incredible way of grabbing two sections, the two sections of both of those Shashibo, and moving them both at the same time into a few new shapes. We've got some new stuff here, some new really intricately woven combinations right there. Yvonne is learning a bunch of stuff. That's awesome. Limited edition for your unlimited addiction. That's the one. Clip it. Well said. Well said, yeah. Replying to Shashibo missing you. What we need to do is be sure every single glove box has a Shashibo in it. There we go. That's Yvonne's mission right there. Yvonne, I do want to warn you that when you type your mission into the public chat of a live stream, it isn't a secret anymore. I'm so sorry. We've exposed Yvonne's secret plan. But I want to learn some more ways that we can move multiple Shashibo at the same time. So let us check out some really simple and complex ways of doing it. So the cube and the ball is a classic way, but my Shashibo just like this, and then start flipping it inside out, one section at a time, again, just like I did for the ball. But this time, instead of making that hollow shape, I want to bring all 3 points that we just put through the middle together all at once to make my UFO shape right there. Now I'm going to turn it inside out again, but I'm not going to make my UFO shape. I'm just going to leave it the ring. And you can see how the center of that ring looks just like one big triangle. Hard to outline it while showing you, but you can kind of see right in the middle there's that big triangle. And that triangle is the perfect space to put my UFO, this triangle right here. Now, I can actually open up that UFO like so. I can let it linger in this kind of in-between space, and then I can close it on this side. And this is just 2 simple shapes with a simple movement that allows them to endlessly flip back and forth. And you're switching which design is in your UFO and which design is in your ring. See how the UFO has these white points now? And the ring is orange all the way around the outside. All right, now I'm gonna flip it. And we've got our orange on the inside and our white points on the outside. And I think that stuff like that is really interesting. Let's step it up quite a few levels, all right? This is getting way more complicated. In fact, even just the simple shapes that you make here are a little bit more complicated. We're gonna take one section of our ring here, and I'm going to pass that section back through the middle, just like so. And when I do that, I can kind of close up that shape around it into this shape that we call the shield. I've heard other people call it the kite, whatever you want to call it. We take our shield, and we're so close to the shape that we want to make, but instead we want to undo it a little bit and bring up that bottom point of the shield, just like so, and then make the shield again, essentially, with that bottom jaw brought up. And that is what makes our shape called the scorpion. This is the scorpion right here. Tricky one, definitely a next level shape. Now with this one, we're going to make a different shape, and we're going to take, instead of just one section, 2 sections of our ring, and we're going to pass those through the middle, just like so, one at a time. And then with those 2 brought through the middle, I'm going to bring this tab that's in between those 2 sections up, like so, until we get these 2 triangles pointing in the same direction, just like that. Now, it's going to be easiest to see that I bring the bottom triangle facing out like this and keep the top one pointing back to make my stingray shape. That's what we call this right here. Okay, so we've got the stingray, and now I can take my stingray and put that tail of the stingray right in the tail of my scorpion, like so, except that I run into some trouble right here. So first I need to start with that. Bring that section behind that point, and then lock the tails together of each of those animals, and there we go. Really cool weave of these shapes. But not only does it weave together, but I can actually flip it just like so. It turns into a new shape. But if I keep pushing it through, now I have yet again switched orange and white for each other. Now white's on the outside and orange is on the inside. Now orange is on the outside and white is on the inside. Super cool flipping connection. It's super fun. Flipping fun. And I'm going to plug in my laptop so you guys don't die on me. Because apparently it unplugged earlier. Alrighty. There we go. Now, some more cool ways to move multiple at the same time. Okay. So I'm going to level it up just a little bit. Not going to be quite as tricky as the one that we just did. Each of those individual shapes were hard, their connection was hard, and the way to move them was tricky. But for this one, we're going to keep it nice and easy, but we're going to use a few more Shashibo. This is 4 Shashibo. And I'm going to open one section of my cube right here into the crown shape. And I'm going to do a little something different. Instead of flipping it out inside out like that, like I have been, I'm going to actually take this central seam right here. There's a hinge in the back. And I'm going to open it up like a book on that hinge and fold it back like that into the spaceship shape. At least that's what we're going towards, okay? So I'm going to show you that from this side. We're going to open it up on that back hinge. But instead of actually just stopping at the spaceship, what we're going to do is take the top and the bottom section here. See, the top is in this hand, the bottom is in this hand, and we're going to bring them apart from each other, just like so. And this is a shape that we call the lockjawed star. I'm going to take this top point of my lockjawed star, and I'm going to push it down, opening the bottom jaw just a little bit so that I have just enough room to tuck that point behind that bottom section and into my bow tie shape right here. Now, if I take those two sections in the bow tie shape and I bring them apart from one another, just like so, now I have made a shape called the Z. And so we're going to do 4 of those shapes with that relationship. We're going to do 2 in the bow tie and 2 in the Z. So I'm going to make my other Z real quick, just like so. And then I'm going to make a couple bow ties. And these shapes have the same relationship. They're just where we're stopping in the shape, essentially. And I'm going to take my bow ties, and my bow ties have this perfect mesh with the Z. And you can already see with just 2 of them what our movement is going to look like. Just like that. But we can keep that chain going. And I'm doing it with 4, but you could really do this infinitely with as many as you happen to have on hand. It's just that the more that you have, the harder it's going to get to make that transition happen. But I can show you just how strong that connection is, just like so. And even though we already have these connected in a way that you can move, we can actually take one of the pieces and flip it up, and then take this front part on that hinge and flip that up. And now they have made a new shape that continues to fold. Look at that. Absolutely incredible. And you can use this combination of 4 to build with and to create all kinds of cool things. I just love exploring the ways that you can get full Shashibo to move like this. There's no of. I think the most that I've been able to move at once is 7. We can explore that, but obviously the ones of the structure, the more hands you really need to get them all to move at once, but I haven't found the limit for that reason. Ooh, I hope you do. Good luck, King Ravana. I hope you get a couple more Ghastly Jacks. Do you guys like that when I hydrate? I do a little flash the image there. Remember to stay hydrated, chat. That's the most important part of these live streams. All right, so that's 4 Shashibo moving together in unison. And we, like I said, we could really add that on infinitely. We just need more hands and more people to keep the structure steady as we move it, right? But there are some other combinations that allow for movement. We messed around with one of them earlier, which was this ring, right? The ring is nice and loose, so there's a lot of facets in which we could move it. And if I set it on my, I'm going to set it on my table to keep it in this shape. But just showing you like this, you can let the ring relax into this shape that has a flat side on it, essentially. It has a flat face right here, and it just sits on the table like that. But when it sits like that, each of these angles that are left over are 90-degree angles, this angle right here. So if I take, I want to do some color coordination here. If I take the Z's that we already learned how to make, and I attach those on each of the 3 90-degree angles, then I can actually open up my ring, and those extra Z's will open with it, just like so. Ah, I accidentally knocked one off with my pinky there. Try that one more time. So I can open it up like this. And then the art of handling Shashibo builds, man. Definitely a learned skill. All right, here we go. Third try is the charm. We're gonna open up that ring and let these guys flex just like that. And now this is the tricky part where I switch to where I'm holding it with my hands to let it connect on the other side just like that. Isn't that cool? So you can just flip it around. And now the ring that we attached those to was in the UFO. And we open it back up and let it connect back where it was. It's a tricky one because you got to move where your hands are holding on to it in the middle of it. But it's such a cool connection. It's such a cool connection. Okay, let's see, because there are some ways to add on to that. As long as we don't drop any on the floor, which I already did. Now I'm going to make my bow tie shape again. Skills with Shashibo are so much more engaging with people than video games to me now. No need. Hey, there you go. I agree. I would always prefer to play with Shashibo with my friends. Okay. This one's got some more weight on it, so it's going to be trickier to move, and we saw how easy it was to move the last one. I think I'm maybe going to have to start it from these. Yes. Okay, JT, if you could just reach through the stream to give me your third hand, that would be super helpful. Okay. So this is sort of proof of concept at least, right? Man, this one is tricky. But essentially what's happening is while this is connected on each of those 3 points to the stream, to the ring, then when you open up the ring, we get that same motion that we had with the 4 that we put together earlier. But it's just so tricky without having an extra hand to hold it steady. Just some crazy ways that you can get these all connected together. I got to show you one more because we can't end on me realizing that I can't do it single-handedly. And that is where you start to do just a normal connection of like 4 rings. But instead of holding this steady while I get the third one in, I'm just going to drop it. If I just let that ring drop, look, it drops into this shape right here with that tail that goes right through the middle. And so I just want to follow that shape a couple more times. But I got to make sure I'm in my ring, and then I let the ring drop. And I kind of have to guide them after the first one. But look, we get something that's really cool and symmetrical with the 2 attached to that ring. So that's actually 3 Shashibo in total right there. 2 in that one shape. But I don't want them to connect on that side. I want to move my tail to the other side so that these are not mirrors of each other, but the same shape over and over again. And when between a mirrored version and the same version, that means that that shape is chiral. So we can choose between a left and right orientation of that shape. And once we have 3 of those connected to our central ring, then we get this really cool presentation of that shape right there. And I kind of have to hold those tails in the middle until I start to let this move and flex. So there's our halfway point right there where it does actually, those tails hold it closed just like that and make a really cool geometry. But I can just move them a tiny bit out of my own way if I want to keep on letting that section move forward and through, just like so. Into a really cool shape. And this one has a really cool relevance with another one. So let's make another one. Excuse me, guys. I'm catching up on the lore with the Triniton. Or Trinitron. All right, so we've got this shape that kaleidocycles is a term that you might hear JT say, or at least it almost does. I suppose a kaleidocycle, it needs to do a full 360 or something on itself. It needs to fully then come back out again. So it goes all the way through a cycle before it stops. And it is a delicate one for sure. But we're just going to make one more. And we're going to use these limited edition, the Ghastly Jacks, to go with our other Spectral limited edition. 4 of those together make a really cool ball. Yeah, absolutely. And you're talking about the shape that I just made. Yeah, 4 of that shape. Yeah, that would be 16 Shashibo. You know what? Let's chase it. We're gonna do 8, and then we're gonna do 16. Why not? Keep it up. Keep up, Ezra. Quiz later. Yeah, no problem. Got the craziest tickle in my throat right now. I don't know what is going on with that. All right, just getting our tails oriented just right in there. Okay, there it is. All right, there is our first shape right there. And we're gonna let it cycle. There it is. And now as long as we have these going in the same direction, which it looks like we do, see how those aren't just mirrors of each other, but they are the same shape. We're going to take our 3 pieces here, these 3 pieces in the middle, and we're going to have them go every other. See how they've got a gap? We're going to try and get these 3 on this one to shoot the gaps between the other 3, just like so. And it is not an easy connection. Not just to get it connected, but also to, yeah, there it is. There it is. Now look at that. That's 8 Shashibo slotted together just like that. Really incredible. I love that connection. But to KitSync 02, I think is what that name is. According to them, like they said, we can actually also get these connected just like so, and then make another couple on the outside of that. However, to guarantee a magnetic connection between the 2, we do have to have them be mirror images of one another. The tails will not line up magnetism that we need. There's 2 of them put together just like that, and we're gonna get a couple more going. Because I want to chase it. What other 2 designs are we gonna use? Let's do some of our artist series right here. I'm gonna do stained glass and watercolor. Our next 2 designs to add into all of this. Should go a little quicker now that I've made it a couple times, right? We just need a ring and then add some more Shashibo on the outside of that ring. How's everybody's Monday going so far? We're doing all right. I'm liking the lo-fi chill vibes going on during this live stream. I do think that's what we've been missing. Alrighty. There it is. So there's part of our piece there, and we are gonna get a couple of these switched around as well, because I just realized that if we actually connect them while our central anchor piece is in the ring shape, it'll be a little easier than while it's in the UFO shape, because there's just more magnetic faces for it to connect on. Okay, so that looks like we made the 2 non-mirrored versions, which is good. Yeah, and that's a way better connection right there at the outside of the ring. So that'll just be a little bit more solid, makes our lives a tad bit easier. And so there is number 3. Perfect. Now, there is a really cool thing that happens with the tabs here, where we could just connect a dodecahedron right in the middle to get that all connected. If you want to leave it open on one side, or you could take a UFO like this to get them all connected. Lots of ways that you could present it without needing to have 16 of them. present a similar shape. But since I am fortunate enough to have a ton of these, let's go ahead and follow through. So close to the end, everybody. Man, I do love this connection. It's just really satisfying. And I always like it when it is... Oh, yeah, for sure. I don't know who said it first, whether it was me or yeah, but we're saying the same thing. And it is kind of broken down stovetops, geometrically speaking. I see what you're saying there. All right, so we're gonna add this last one onto the top, and then we make one of the coolest dodecahedrons that you can make with Shashibo. The surface looks all rippled. It is a really nice connection. And you can pick one of those pieces on top to continue building with. So let us do that. And I want to see if there is a way, which I bet there is, to add Octa into this. Ooh, look at that. You add an Octa, what's that called? The seed pod? An Octa seed pod. That's a cool connection. Ooh. There it is. That's what you can do with the Octa on top there. I think that looks pretty nice. Can you add another like that? Let's see. I'm gonna add 3 more seed pods. And to make the seed pod with Octa, if we're starting from our portal shape right here, I can open it up just like so, pulling it all the way back into this shape right here. And then this shape is a decision place, right? We can either bring these 2 cube side pieces together to make the blossom, or I can bring them together while pulling them back to make the seed pod right there. And if I get 3 seed pods connected, I bet we'll have a cool mesh here, but we'll see. I'm still learning with this. Okay. Geometrically it works. Magnetically, there's some pushback. Let's see if there is an orientation that doesn't have pushback. No. Can't quite get it. That's okay though, because we could just take this little 3-piece that we made and add it on to another one of our sections, just like so. Now, unfortunately, I don't have enough to do another one of those, but it would be really cool to keep on following that and add a couple more here and here. All in all, what we would need is 24 Octa. Anybody out there have 24 Octa and 16 Shashibo? You could finish this out by adding 3 Octa on each of these cross sections right here. Just like so, where it comes to a point like that. You just need to add the seed pod right there. So one of these days I'll have enough Octa and I'll be able to keep on following up with that. But you get kind of the idea. If I only let you see this angle, this is what it would look like if we did the top half like this. Just like so, which is really exciting. I mean, that is a cool shape. That would look really cool when I get my hands on some more of those. So lots of cool ways you can add Octa into your regular Shashibo builds. Let's see if there's some cool ways that we could add some regular Shashibo into that. Oh, and I just have to show you guys that that shape that we just made to add onto the top of these. If we take 2 of those, that's just 3 octa per one. We connect them together like that, we get this amazing shape right here, which is just a really satisfying one. King Ravana is definitely getting some more octa. How many are you at right now? Do you have 6 of each? Oh, also, if someone is a member of the Discord, feel free to shout out to the Discord that I'm live. I forgot to do that right before this because since we're basically just testing out this new form of streaming, this all happened kind of last minute. But it's cool to have some audiences on platforms that we have not streamed on yet. So thanks for checking us out, guys. Thanks for hanging out. You got 12 of each. You have enough already. You can make what I'm making right now. I want to see it. I want to see it. Post it in the Discord. Finish what I made. Since I don't have enough yet. Okay. Let's see. Maybe I want to try brown on top like that. Just like so. Around the whole top like that. Oh, JT just did. Thank you, JT. Much appreciated. Oh, only 20 left in stock. JT, that's crazy. There are only 20 octa left in stock until October, which is crazy. So get them while you can if you don't want to have to wait. Yeah, seriously, we can't wait to see what you guys make. I mean, I'm really inspired by all of the stuff on the Discord. In fact, JT, just in case there's anyone in this live stream who is not a part of the Discord already, JT's going to drop the link right down here. Yeah, man, it's going to be awesome. October. October? Is it October? Because we have more coming? That's so funny. All right, guys. Join us in October. Oh, man. Y'all, I am having so much fun with just having a new geometry that is throwing me for a loop every once in a while, you know? I know a lot about Shashibo, and so very rarely am I stumped by anything that you guys are like posting in the Discord or something like that. It happens, but I've just spent so much time playing with Shashibo that now having something new to mess around with and be wrong about is super exciting. Oh, that's cool. That's 4 puppies on the top of my, or 3 puppies on the top of my 3 crowns. You know, I wonder if 3 shark fins will connect to the top of this. Only one way to find out. If you guys have not seen the shark fin shape before, I think I just posted a tutorial of it, or maybe it's going up later today. Maybe it's scheduled, I think. But we want to get it inside out into our nice open ring. Collapse the open ring in half to my long snake shape. Open one hump of the snake. Let that piece right there come and connect underneath, and then take the tail and choose a left or a right side to connect it on. We're going to try the left first. My left, maybe your right. And with 3 of them, we can get them all connected just like so. Where I take this right angled triangle right here and connect it to this right angled triangle, which is hard to see because we get this extra piece, but there it is. Connected like that, and a third one connected like this, and okay. Again, geometrically that works, but magnetically they repel. Tricky. It's tricky. Octa is very good. Like Duomodo switches you up a little. Yeah, for sure. For sure. It definitely inspires a different kind of thinking about the geometry that you're playing with. I definitely hear what you're saying there. Cubendi is like the scary cube. I only have 10 of each of them, I think. Nice, nice. 16 of each is definitely a good goal. I mean, I'd love that. I would love that. I'm working on it. No videos I know of Cubendi builds. I think there are, I know that I came out with some like 4 Cubendi combinations and stuff, but we haven't posted on Cubendi in a while. Just because there's so much to do around Shashibo, we don't have time, man. It's such an amazing toy that it takes all of our attention. Okay, I gotta find another way to connect while continuing with this. Maybe if I take, yeah, okay. So I'm gonna take my puppies, same shape that I added on the first time. I'm just gonna switch up the rotation of it now so that they're twisting the other way this time. So this is just 6 puppies on top. Oh, interesting. Do I need to pay attention? Oh, I see. I just need to not try and put it on backwards this time. There we go. That's 3 more puppies up on top. And I personally cannot think of a shape that would finish this for me in a satisfying way. That doesn't mean there isn't one. It just means I can't think of it right at the moment. So let's poke around. See if I can find something. Would that work? No, I don't think so. Okay. And that's another puppy. That almost bridges the gap between 2. Man, this is tricky. Okay. Here's what I've got on top. And what's cool is that I can recognize that this hexagon would be a really cool place for half of a Duomodo to connect, which would be interesting. But no magnetic compatibility there either. You all gonna be at the Chicago Toy and Game Fair in November. You never see. You never know. You mean Chai Tag? Is that what you're talking about? As far as I know, we're not going to be at Chai Tag, but yeah. I mean, that sits there. Again, doesn't snap in magnetically. I want it, guys, but I think it might be beyond us. This is still a really cool build. I don't know what to call the bottom one. It's not. I don't think it's truncated. It's not a truncated dodecahedron. I almost want to use like the Doctor Who style wibbly wobbly. It's a wibbly wobbly dodecahedron. That's the technical term for it. Stellated, kind of? Okay, yeah. That's true. Kinda. I don't know if that's really the most multi-stellated dodecahedron. Yeah, potentially. It's almost like a multi-half stellated dodecahedron. I haven't watched any of the Cubendi videos. Appreciate. Unfortunately, I think probably the best way to find them would be either to like look up specifically Cubendi on YouTube and see if you can track them down that way, or to just scroll back in time like a year. So yeah, Chai Tag. I love Chai Tag, but we may not have time for it this year. We'll see. I need more stained glass too. Yeah, man, I only have, I think 5 with the one right back here on it, but it's one of my favorite designs. It looks really cool, especially when you start repeating that color a whole bunch. There is a YouTube playlist for all Cubendi videos. There you go. And multi-Cubendi builds are at the bottom. Yeah, there you go. Thank you, JT, for that little tip. All right, well, how are you feeling, JT? Do you want to keep on testing this? Are we feeling confident? Do we want to call it for right now? We'll definitely be back on the live stream later this week, guys. So stay tuned. And we'll be going live on all of our different platforms. We're going to be trying to do we're going to be trying to do a lot more live streams on our YouTube, on our Facebook, on our Instagram, on our TikTok. When we go live on one of them, we want to be live on all of them. So you guys were here for the first little trial run of it, and we'll see you on the next one. So thanks for hanging out, and I will